Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Cassie from Ground Up Fitness, and today I have an at-home workout for you that you'll only need a couple pair of dumbbells to complete. I have a mat, I have a bench. You can use a chair, a sofa, or whatever. We're just using it for a little bit of support and a nice chill space to work out in. So once you have that stuff together, we'll get warmed up and we'll get started. So we're gonna go ahead and get warmed up. I want you to put your hands in front of you. We're gonna do 10 circles out to the sides. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch directions the other way. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring our hands up and down. Get your shoulders nice and warmed up for 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to send our hands forward, warm up your elbows and your shoulders a little bit more. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch directions towards you. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to put our hands up, bend down, bend your knees, touch your toes, up in the air, bend down, touch your toes. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put your hands on your knees. We're going to do circles in one direction. If any of this stuff hurts, you probably won't be able to complete this workout. All this stuff's pretty basic. We're getting other direction. We're getting all of our joints warmed up, making sure we have the range of motion today for the workout. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do circles with our hips. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change directions. Big circles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to come up on our toes and then back on our heels. Up on your toes, back on your heels. Rocking back, push up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. We should be all warmed up by now. We're going to go ahead and start the workout. We're going to start with an inchworm with some taps. So the move looks like this. You're going to bend down, touch your toes, walk your hands out, stop here in a nice plank, pull your hips up. We're going to tap once hands, tap shoulders, and tap hips. And then we're going to walk back. If this doesn't feel okay on your wrists, you can come down and make a fist, walk out, stop here, hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips. So we are going to do 8 of those, and we're going to do them in 3 sets. So 1 set of 8, we're going to rest, another set of 8, rest, another set of 8, rest. So let's go ahead and get started. So throughout this whole workout, we don't want anything to hurt. If anything feels really painful or a sharp pain, you want to stop and revisit another workout that maybe isn't so demanding. For us to feel tired is super normal, but we don't want any pain whatsoever. So be humble, be compassionate with yourself. Push, it's going to hurt a little bit in our muscles, and hurt, I mean work, but we don't want any actual pain. All right, so let's get started. We're going to walk out in our inchworm. Bend your knees, touch your toes, walk out, pause here, hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips, and back. That's 1. The point of this is to keep your abs really strong and your belly button pulled in your plank so that we're not rocking back and forth as we shift our weight from side to side. And back, that's 2. Bend your knees, touch your toes, walk your hands out. Shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips, and walk back. That's 3. We're going to do 8 of these. Bend your knees, touch your toes. If at any point you need to pause the video, feel free and catch up or take a little bit of a rest, but we are going to rest in between our sets. 4. Hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips, and back. That's 5. Our feet are not moving at all through this. And the goal is to keep your abs really tight to avoid swaying from side to side. And back. That's 6. 2 more. Walk on out. Hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips, and back. 7. One more. Hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips, and back. That's it. We're going to take 45 seconds of rest before we do our next set. Set number 2, bend your knees, touch your toes, walk your hands out into a nice plank, hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips, and back. That's 1. Hand, hand, shoulders, shoulders, hips, hips. 2. Some things to avoid here is when we're in your plank, you don't want your hands way out here like Superman. You want your hands directly under your shoulders so that you can stack your hand, elbow, shoulder. That's 3. And like I said, if this doesn't feel good on your wrists, you can put your hand down in a fist like this. 4. Back, that's 5. 3 more. Nice strong plank. Squeeze your belly button in so that we're not swaying back and forth. This is number 6. Hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips. Your shoulders should be feeling this. Your abs, your quads might be feeling it a little bit. This is number 7. Hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips, and back. Last one. And a regression for this is to just hang out in your plank for 6 seconds before you walk back. If you feel like you can't do the taps. And work your way up to it. So that's 8. That's our second set. Another 45 seconds, and we're going to do the third set. Alrighty, one more set of these. And like I said, for the regression, if you feel like you're getting tired or your form is suffering, you can walk out into the inchworm and hang out there for a couple seconds in your plank and then walk back. That's a good regression if you don't feel quite ready for the move. Then you can work your way up to it. And down, touch my toes. Wrist, wrist, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips. That's 1. Shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip. Walk back, that's 2. Touch your toes, walk out. Hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips. Walk back for 3. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. That's 4. Hands directly under your shoulders. Squeeze those abs in. We're going to finish this strong. That's 5. Hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips. That's 6. 2 more. That's 7. 1 more. Finish strong. Hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, hips, hips, and walk it back. That's 8. Little break. Move on to the next exercise. For our next exercise, you're going to need something light. So I'm going to be working with 8-pound dumbbells, but feel free to start with 3s, 5s, 8s, 10s, wherever you are. This is going to be for our shoulders. And our shoulders tend to lift way lighter than the rest of your body, so be humble about it. If you don't have dumbbells, you can totally use bottles of water or bottle of wine, some laundry detergent bottles that you have filled to make it to be the level of weight that you are comfortable working with. But I'm going to be working with 8-pound dumbbells. Watch how I do it first before you follow along. We want our feet directly under our knees in an athletic stance, I call it. So in a stance that if somebody pushed you, you're not going to fall over immediately. You don't want to extend your knees all the way. You want to bend slightly, pull your ribs in, and I'm going to put my thumbs over top of the bar of the dumbbell to keep me from gripping with a death grip. So from here, I'm going to bend my elbows slightly, and I'm going to lead the motion with my elbows and pinkies and come up to about 90 degrees. It's really important that we're not using momentum in this exercise. I don't want you to be throwing your hips into it, and if you are, the weight's probably too heavy. I'll turn to the side so you can see. Bend my elbows a little bit, knees right under my hips, and my elbows and my pinkies are the highest part of the lift. I don't want us up here, and we're only going to 90 degrees. So down and elbows up. We're going to do 3 sets of 10 to 12 of these. If you only have 10, that's fine. If you only have 8, that's fine. But we want to find a working set in between 10 and 12 repetitions. So go ahead and grab your weights. Your feet are going to be right underneath your knees, thumbs over top of the weights. If you're holding water bottles, you might not be able to palm it like that, but whatever feels comfortable. And we're going to lift up, elbows being the highest part of the weight. And we want to feel this in the top of our shoulders, right here in our deltoids. This is 2, 3, slow and controlled. And as you notice, my torso isn't involved in this. It's all shoulders. You also want to keep your shoulder blades back so that your traps, which is this muscle right here, is not involved either. Shoulder blades down. That's 4, 5. Let me turn to the side so you can see. 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to go for 12. You can stop when you feel worked. If you feel the posture slipping, also that's a good time to stop and rest. 11 and 12, and I'm going to go slow on my negative on my last repetition. That slow negative is a good way to kind of squeeze all that you have out of your set and get the best burn possible. So we're going to take a little bit of a rest, and then we're going to do that again. right, set number 2. Remember, nice athletic stance, ribs tucked in, shoulder blades pulled back and down. We don't want to shrug through it at all. And my thumb is over top of the weight so that I'm not death gripping the dumbbells. 1, 2, 3. And in between my reps is a good time to check in with myself. Make sure that my traps aren't involved. Make sure my shoulder blades are down and my ribs are pulled in and underneath me. 5, 6, 7, 8. And remember, on your last rep, you're going to hold a little bit at the top and then go slow on the way down. 9, 10, only to 90 degrees. 11, last one. I'm going to hold for a couple seconds and then go slow, 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 slow on the way down. Little rest. All right, one last set. Bend your knees, feet directly under your hips. This athletic stance, pull your ribs in, shoulder blades back and down, thumbs over top of the dumbbells. And 1, 2, 3. And remember, we're controlling this. We don't want to throw our hips into it and use momentum to lift the weights. 5, 6, 7. You should be feeling your shoulders now, especially after those inchworms. 9, 10, shoulder blades back. 11, one more. Hold for a couple seconds and down slowly. Awesome. We're done our 3 sets of these. We're going to take a little bit of rest and I will explain to you our next exercise. All right, so our next exercise is a dumbbell row. We're going to do it from a kneeling position on the floor. If you have a bench, feel free to use your bench as well. And they're going to be unilateral, all of our reps on one side, and then I'll turn around and I'll show you how we do our reps on the other side. Watch how I explain first, and you can go ahead and do it so that you're not trying to learn while you're executing the move. We're going to have our hands situated on our dumbbells. If you don't have a heavier set of dumbbells than you did for our lat raises, that's fine. You can still use them, but right now I'm using 7.5 kilos, which is like 17.5 pounds, 18 pounds, something that's challenging for between 8 and 12 repetitions. If you have a lighter pair of dumbbells, you'll do a couple more reps. If you have a heavier pair of dumbbells, you might do less reps in the rep range. So we'll see how many I can get in between that 8 to 12, and you can decide what's challenging for you. You want your last few reps to be difficult, but you don't want it so difficult that you lose the form. So we're going to be on all fours here, and I want to stick out my butt and stick out my chest so that my back is nice and straight. I don't want to round here like this, and I also don't want to be so arched. So we want a straight back and your neck to be following the rest of your spine. I'm gonna do this side first. I'm gonna lift up my weight and row back to my hip and then come all the way back down to the floor. It's important that our elbow stays close to our body. You don't wanna jut it out this way, and you don't wanna shrug your shoulder up. This move is targeting our lat, which is right here. And so that's where you wanna feel the squeeze. As you bring your dumbbell up to your hip, squeeze and down. Up, squeeze, and down. Alrighty, so that's what that looks like. And the form, the path of the dumbbell is kind of like a Nike swoosh. Comes up and back. You don't want to just be pulling it straight up and down. So let's go ahead and get started. You're gonna come down on all fours, nice and straight back, stick your butt out, stick your chest out a little bit, and you want your neck following the rest of your spine. You're gonna row, pinky to your hip, and then all the way down. Give your muscle a chance to rest. Up, squeeze. And we're gonna focus on the isometric phase of this exercise, which is the stop here so that your muscle has a chance to react. You don't wanna just swing it up and down. You're gonna pull, hold, and back down. That's 4. 5. I think I'm gonna do 10 here, but you can do anywhere between 8 and 12 reps. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I got 12. I'm gonna go for 2 more. 11, and 12. I'm gonna flip around so we can do the other side. You can see the working side. Straight back, knees directly under your hips, hands under your shoulders. I'm gonna keep this hand still on the dumbbell. And up 1, 2. My trap here isn't involved at all. Squeeze right under your armpit, into your lat. 4, 5, 6. If you only have one heavy dumbbell, you can put one hand on the mat in a palm or flat down and do it the same way if you don't have 2 matching dumbbells. 7, 8, 9. And we always want to match the reps on both sides. 11 and 12. When you're doing unilateral movements, which is one side at a time, you want to always start the set with the side that is a little bit more difficult for you or the side that's not as strong if you have a muscle imbalance that way. That way you have the most energy going into that side, and you also don't finish the set like feeling like, that sucked. You want to have a positive, like psychological moment there, finishing strong on the strong side. So any unilateral movement where you're doing one side first, always start on the side that needs a little bit more work, so that the goal is to get stronger on that side so that it matches the strength of the other side of the body. We're gonna take a little bit of a rest and then we're gonna do another set. This is gonna be 3 sets. All right, here we go. I feel like my left side is a little bit less strong than my right side, so I'm gonna start on my left side. And remember, we're focusing on having a moment of stillness and squeezing in what is called the isometric phase of the exercise, the moment of stillness between pulling and letting the weight go back down. 4, 5, 6, 7, pinky to your hip, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We want the rep range to be between 8 and 12, so whatever feels challenging to you, as long as you do the same amount of reps on both sides. It's also okay if you do less reps as the sets progress. It makes more sense that you're stronger in the muscle the first or second set than the third. So for example, if I'm getting 12 right now, I might only get 10 on my last set. 5, pulling in my ribs. 6, and rowing to my hip with my pinky. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're going to take a little bit of a rest, and then we're going to do that one more time. Alrighty, last set of our dumbbell rows. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Pull your ribs in, shoulders back, chest out. Pinky to your hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Take a couple breaths, reset, shoulders under your, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, pull your ribs in, shoulder blades back, and 1. Remember that this row isn't going straight up and down, but you're pulling back to your hip, kind of like a check mark. 4 or 3, I don't know. Let's call that 4, 5, 6. And if this is uncomfortable, you can put your hand down flat on the mat if that feels better. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, one more, 12. Awesome. So those were our dumbbell rows. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and then I'll explain our next exercise. Our next move is going to be a reverse lunge, and this is where our bench comes into play. I'm going to explain it to you, and then you can go ahead and try. We're going to support yourself here up on the bench, a chair, your couch, whatever you have available. And you want your foot that's going to stay in the front and stay still to be in line of where you have your hand. So I don't want to be stood back here. I don't want to be in front. I want everything in line, my hand and my foot. And the weight is going to be in the opposite hand away from the bench. You're going to hold it in front of you. You're going to bring that foot that's going to be traveling up onto your toe so that all your weight is transitioned into the leg that's closest to your support. You're gonna take a step back and land only on your toes. You don't wanna flatten your foot down. You're gonna be just on the point of your toe. I'm leaned forward, this is called a hinge, and then I'm gonna drop that back knee as far as I can go, to tap it on the floor and come back. The point here is that our front knee doesn't pass over your foot. You wanna keep it stacked right over your foot. I'm in this hinged position, and then push through that standing leg, which is loading my glute. Toe, pause, down in a hinge, and back. Toe, down in a hinge, and back. My knee is staying directly over my foot. I'm staying bent over slightly, and I'm keeping my chest up so that I have a nice strong back. You can go ahead and get started. We're gonna do 8 on each side. Tap, knee down, and back with some power. 1, 2, and 3. That's 2. 1, 2, and 3. 2. Toe, knee, and back. 3, 4. We should be feeling this in our glute, on the leg that's staying closest to the bench. 7, and 8. I'm gonna switch sides. My foot and my hand in the same line. My moving foot up on my toe. I'm gonna hold the weight here in front of you. That's gonna encourage this hinge. Toe, down, and back. If you can't do this with a weight, it's totally fine to do it without. But you wanna keep your chest up, and you can do it body weight if you'd like. I also want to make sure that I'm not centering my foot or crossing it towards the center line. Straight back so that my feet stay in their own lanes. 5, 6. All my weight's in my heel. 7. I could almost lift my toes up if I wanted to. You don't really want to, but that's how much of your body weight is in your heel. A little rest, and we'll do that again. We're going to do 3 sets. Okay, here we go. Starting always on the side that feels a little bit less strong. Lining my foot up with my hand support. Coming up on my toe directly under my hips. You don't want to be too far centered. Hips width apart. Tap, down, and back. That's 1. Tap, down, and back. That's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Switch sides. Weight in the front, up onto your toe. Tap, send your hips back, push through your glute. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm keeping my sight, my vision down so that I'm not putting my neck in a weird position. 5, 6, 7. Remember that weight's going to stay right in front of your leg. and 8. Awesome. Take a break and we're going to do one more of those. All right, last set of our lunges. Weight in front, hinge your hips a little bit to start. Tap, down, and back. We also want to make sure that our knee on the front leg is not falling inwards or pushing too far outwards. Keeping your pinky toe on your front foot planted into the floor, and that's going to keep your posterior chain working, keep your knee aligned, your hip aligned, so that your knee isn't falling inwards. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Switch sides. Plant your pinky toe into the floor, engage your knee, your hips, tap, down, 1, tap, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one more, tap, down, and 8. Awesome. Take a little bit of a break and I'll explain our next exercise. This next exercise, you have an option of using body weight, 1 dumbbell or 2, depending on what equipment you have available. I'm going to show you with 2 of my heavier dumbbells. If you have 1 heavy kettlebell, that's fine. If you want to continue using the same weights you did from the get-go, totally fine. But remember, if you're using a lighter weight, you might need to do more reps to get the desired effect. And again, if it's heavy, you might end up doing less reps, right? So I'm going to hold both weights here in the front. If you have 1 heavy weight, you're going to hold it here in the middle with your hand over top or your fingers interlaced so that you don't feel more pull on one side of your arm than the other. But with 2, we can get rid of that problem. And we're going to step wide, wider than hips width apart. This is called a sumo squat, obviously because we look like a sumo wrestler with our stance. Chest up, hips back, down as far as I can go. You'll feel this on the inside of your thighs and your glutes. We're going to come up halfway, back down, and up. Down, up halfway, back down, and up. I'll show you from the side. It's important that you keep your ribs pulled in so that you don't feel this in your low back, and we don't want to lean over at all. All the motion and the up down happens because my hips are sending back, up halfway, back down, and up. So that's what that looks like. Go ahead and grab your weights and we'll get started. A good way to figure out your spacing here is to start with your feet together. Go 1, 2, and then halfway again. Weights in the front, chest up, down 90 degrees, up halfway, back down, and up. That's 1. I think this one's better to show from the side. Down, up halfway, back down and up, keeping my ribs in so I don't feel this in my low back. Down, up, 3, down, up, 4, down, up, 5, down, up halfway, back down, up 6. We're going to do 10. Down, up, 8. I don't remember. Down, up, 9. down, up, down, up. I'm gonna do one more because I lost my count and I don't remember how many. Down, up, down, up, and then bend your knees to put your weights down safely. This one's super important that we keep your ribs tucked in, like someone's about to punch you in the stomach, so that you don't push forward and feel it in your low back. Okay, here we go. Set number 2. I'll show you what this looks like with one dumbbell. I'm going to interlace my fingers. Open, open, open a little bit more. Down, halfway up, back down, and up. You want to keep your knees soft. You don't want to push forward at the end of this move. Down, up, soft knees, but the squeeze is in the glutes. So squeeze your glutes under without pushing your hips forward. Down, halfway, up, down, halfway, up. Also, this is available without weights, with your hands here, down, up, up. That's totally fine if that's your level or if you don't have weights available, but just remember to modify how many reps you're doing so that it's challenging depending on how much weight you have. 5. Exhale on the way up, breathe in, down, halfway. 7, 8, 9, and 10. We got one more set of these. Take a little bit of rest and then we'll finish strong. All right, one more. I'm going to grab my 2 weights again because that's what felt best for me as far as where to hold the weights. Get myself together. Weights here. 1, 2, a little bit more. Down, halfway, and up. Soft knees at the top. 90 degrees, up, down, up. That's 2. 3, 4, 5, ribs in, strong low back. 6, we'll feel this on our inner thighs and our glutes. 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10. All right, we've got one more exercise left. Go ahead and take a little bit of a break. I'll describe the next exercise and then we'll finish up. right, for our last exercise, we are going to do a little bit of getting our heart rate up. We're going to do this from a high plank position, and it's a combination of mountain climbers and scissor kicks. If this doesn't feel good on your flat hands, you can always come up onto your palms. I'll do it from my palms at first to show you. We're going to do 6 mountain climbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then jump out. 1, 2. So that's going to be the combo. We're going to do that for time. We're going to do that for 30 seconds, and then we'll rest. 30 seconds, rest, 30 seconds, rest. Move this chair out of the way. So you can go ahead and get down on your mat. I'm going to move my little mic so that it's not all over the place. Remember, flat hands or hands in your palm, on your palms, or your fists, pardon. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. You want to keep your hips down. You don't want to be up like this. 1, 2. 15 seconds left. 1, 2. 1, 2. 8 seconds. 1 more. 6 mountain climbers. And 2 scissors. Out. Okay. We're going to rest. We'll do that 2 more times, and then we'll be done. Here we go, 30 seconds of 6 mountain climbers, 2 scissor kicks out. We're gonna start in 3 seconds. Get comfy, get ready, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. "15 seconds left. Our shoulders should be burning, strong abs, belly button in. 1 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. I'm tired and I'm sweaty. Hopefully you are too. If you have any questions about any of these, please leave me a comment, send me a message. Be sure to follow my YouTube, my TikTok, back on Instagram now, so all the things. I tend to post demos and things of individual exercises on those platforms, so make sure you're connected that way. We're going to rest for 20 more seconds, and then we're going to do that 1 more time, and then we'll be done. 10 seconds, catch your breath, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Last time, finish strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Knee to your chest. 1, 2. That's 15 seconds, halfway. 1, 2. 1 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. All right, we're done. Good job, everybody. Again, let me know if you have any questions. I'm Cassie from Ground Up Fitness, and thanks for working out with me.